Hello everyone, I'm Melon, and you might know me from making these terrible TikToks, but today I wanted to make a video and talk about a set that's going to be releasing very soon, and tell you guys what I like and what I don't like about the set, as well as tell you my overall thoughts. I of course am talking about the set 76956 T-Rex Breakout. Before we begin, I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Minifigures.me. Have you ever wondered where I got this minifigure from? You know, the minifigure I use in all my videos? Well, it's from a company called Minifigs.me. They do custom printing on real Lego pieces, so you never have to worry about quality, and you can have whatever you want on a minifigure. I've had this minifigure for well over a year, and it still looks amazing. They ship worldwide, and if you use the link in my bio or this code, you'll get 10% off your order. With that out of the way, I want to tell you guys about the scene where the set is actually from, just in case you haven't seen Jurassic Park, or if you're like me and haven't watched it in a couple of years. To skip the recap, please click here. Alright, here we go. In Jurassic Park, one of the lead programmers, Dennis, is in a little bit of financial trouble. Unfortunately, the park won't raise his rate, and to combat this, Dennis decides to steal some good old dino DNA. To accomplish this, Dennis decides to reboot the park so that the security system goes down. This would allow him to sneak into the lab and take the dino DNA. Unfortunately, one thing leads to another and the entire park's power goes down, and spoiler alert, Dennis doesn't escape. This leads us to our primary scene, where our main characters are outside the T-Rex enclosure, in two brightly colored Jeeps. In one Jeep we have Dr. Grant and Dr. Malcolm, and in the other we have the two kids and this guy. I'm pretty sure he's a lawyer. Regardless, when the power goes out, our heroes are stuck in front of the T-Rex enclosure, and the lawyer, being the classic lawyer, is about to shit himself after seeing the T-Rex. He then runs to the bathroom, leaving the two kids alone in the Jeep. Shortly after, the T-Rex notices the power is out and escapes from his enclosure. As the T-Rex begins to wreak havoc, the children inside the car think it's absolutely brilliant to start waving around a flashlight. Naturally, the T-Rex is a T-Rex and begins attacking the car. In true hero fashion, Dr. Grant sees this and decides he's gonna light a flare to lure the T-Rex away. And he succeeds. However, Dr. Malcolm believes this is a great time for him to be a hero as well, and lights another flare. After that, the scene gets super chaotic, children are screaming, people are being eaten, and it becomes a huge mess. But now that we reviewed the scene, let's talk about the Lego set. Now, the way I look at Lego sets boils down to three main parts: accuracy, display, minifigures, and price. So I'm going to be going through each of these categories and give them a 1 out of 5 rating for a grand possible total of 20 points for the Lego set. First, accuracy. Now I've just described the scene, so it should be fresh in your mind. As we take a look at the set, we can see that the Jeeps are on tracks, one Jeep is flipped over, the fence is broken, the ground is beaten. But what's great about this set is that the designers really did pay attention. For example, the Jeeps are actually on a track, which is something that's pretty easy to miss. But what's even more impressive is that a tire is actually missing from one of the cars. This is because during the movie, while the T-Rex was having a fit, she decided to rip one of the tires off the Jeep. And other than that, there isn't too much to say in terms of accuracy. The fence looks like a fence, the Jeeps look like the Jeeps, the ground looks like a T-Rex was throwing a fit, and sure, I can complain that the T-Rex isn't big enough, but it fits the model, and you probably didn't notice until I said something. So easy, 5 out of 5 on the accuracy. It's impressive and it gets the job done. Next section is the display. How does this display once it's all put together? Now, spoiler alert from the box art. This thing looks great. Some key things to note is this black border around the set, and this display piece on the front. Now this all looks great, I just have one issue. The quote on the display says, "Boy do I hate being right all the time." But what's funny is that Dr. Malcolm, the person who this is quoted from, is actually the one who messed everything up in this set. So no, you were not right. I know this is an iconic quote, I just think it's hilarious that they picked this quote for this scene, considering he wasn't right. But overall, the set displays very nicely. It looks a lot like a professional set made for adults, and the minifigures look great when they're displayed. My only concern is I'm not really sure how to display these figures, but I'll talk about that more in the next section. To wrap this up, this section gets a 4 out of 5. It's not bad, but it's not amazing either. Moving on to the minifigures. Now, like I mentioned before, I don't really know how to display these guys. They're supposed to be under the car, however, you can't really see them if they are. Now, of course, I'm just speculating because I don't actually have the set yet. But I'm worried you won't be able to see these guys or even get them under the car. Regardless, this is a very small concern and it really doesn't bother me that much, it's just something I thought I'd note. The main topic of discussion is how these minifigures actually look. Now, one thing that I love about these minifigures is that they look like they belong in the set. Let me explain. Sometimes when LEGO makes any kind of set, they normally make display figures, as in they have these figures that go on the side and they're not really supposed to be part of the set. They're mostly around as a collectible type of minifigure, if you get what I mean. But no, these minifigures are not just display minifigures. They actually are supposed to be interacting in the set, and we can tell by that simply because they're all dirty. For example, both of the kids are covered in mud. Now, of course, one kid is missing his hat, but that's just a small detail. Overall, the kids look great and very movie accurate. Moving on to Dr. Grant and Dr. Malcolm, they both look movie accurate. They're both drenched in rain, and they both look stressed out because of the giant T-Rex. Plus, they even have the details down to a pretty small scale. For example, you can even see Dr. Malcolm's necklace and his minifigure. So I'm giving the figures a 5 out of 5. Good job, LEGO. Finally, this brings me to the price of the set. This set retails for about $100, which, to the average consumer, is a little bit pricey. However, a lot of people who buy Legos, myself included, follow something known as the 10-cent rule. This is when a Lego product should cost about 10 cents per piece, and if it's a theme set, it's typically going to run a little bit more. For this particular set, if we do the math, which is 108, which is $100 plus tax, divided by 1,212, we get approximately 9 cents per piece, which, considering this is a movie set and you get 4 figures, is a pretty decent deal. Now, of course, it's not the best deal out there, but it's definitely up there. So, for price, it's going to be a 4.5 out of 5. Again, not the best, but it's a pretty good deal, especially for a movie set. So overall, if we add up all the points, we get 18.5 out of 20, which is approximately a 92.5% out of 100. So an A, or in other words, a very epic set. However, I want to talk about more things if you're actually going to buy this set. Judging based on the price of the set and the way it looks, I don't expect the price to ever go down. However, if you are looking for a discount, maybe a certain wholesaler can sell you the set, or if you wait a few months, maybe a secondary seller will have this set on clearance, but I don't expect this to ever go on sale at the actual Lego store. Some sets do, I don't expect this one to. I also wouldn't recommend getting this from a scalper or someone from eBay and paying extra for it, as I'm pretty sure LEGO knows to make enough of these. For example, if we take another look at other cool sets, such as the bonsai tree, sure, we had to wait a couple of months, but we ended up getting a lot of them, and now there's a surplus of them. So don't buy from scalpers. However, there's one more thing I'd like to bring up, and that is the set Jurassic Park T-Rex Rampage. Now, why am I bringing up this set? This set came out in 2019 and it cost about $250. And by all means, it was a pretty bad set. It cost way too much, and there weren't any play features, plus it didn't look that good when it was displayed. So why am I bringing this up? Well, there was one good thing about this set, and that is the minifigures. Of course, this is another example of what I'm talking about when LEGO makes display minifigures. These minifigures weren't exactly made for the set. Sure, you could have put them in there, but they looked a lot better being on this plaque that LEGO had in the set. But the reason I bring this up is because if you're like me and you like to collect minifigures, there's a good chance you probably wanted these figures. The set came with Dr. Grant, Dr. Sattler, Dennis, Dr. Malcolm, John Hammond, and Ray Arnold, all of which are really cool minifigures, and even right now, they cost quite a bit to get. And my prediction is that when this set releases, the price on these minifigures is going to go up. So if you're like me, I would highly recommend buying them before the price goes up, because after the price goes up, I don't know what they're going to be selling at, and no one really wants to pay a lot for minifigures. And for those people who want to invest in these Legos and buy them up right now and then sell them later at a higher price, I don't think that's a good idea, simply because the people who are going to want these figures are adults, and if you charge too much for a minifigure, there's a good chance they're not going to want it. And yes, they will technically cost more, but I don't think there's going to be a huge market out for them, simply because those who wanted the figures before probably got them, and those who didn't probably can live without them if they see the price is raised. So it's not a good investment. However, if you do actually want the figures, I recommend getting them before people start charging astronomical prices. That being said, in about 1 to 2 years, most likely these figures will go back down to where they're at right now. Well, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Keep in mind, this is one of my first YouTube videos, and so if you have any critiques or opinions, or if you just want to let me know what you think about the set, leave your comments below. Also, if you made it this far, just subscribe. I'm told I'm supposed to say that sometime in the YouTube video. But yeah, later dudes, stay safe and drink water.